everyone to this episode of the Palmetto Guardian. I'm Sergeant Chelsea Weaver.
I'm Specialist Anna Grace Catoe.
And today we have a very special guest, near and dear to our hearts because we were in the same unit. He's recently retired, but I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and then we're just going to go into today's topic.
Great. Thank you for having me in today. My name is Greg Miller. I'm a retired Sergeant First Class from the South Carolina Army National Guard. I was the Readiness NCO for the 132nd MP Company for the last several years, and I've been with that unit since 2006. So I had a long career in the Guard before joining retirement people in 2022. I've been working as a veteran advisor with the South Carolina National Guard Service Member Family Care Program. I've been doing that since May of last year, and it's been a very rewarding position.
Awesome. Well, we're glad that you could take the time to come talk to us about these things because we do get a lot of phone calls and questions about where do I go for records? What do I do for claims? Like all that kind of stuff. So it's nice to put a name to a face. But before we get into it, I kind of want to get an idea of how did it feel transitioning from being in the Guard, retiring, and then jumping right into this job where you're helping veterans? Like, how did that transition?
I fell into it by luck. There was a position opening just as I was getting ready to retire, and having the readiness background, it was a good fit for me to come in and work in the area where I work, because I know a lot of the same programs and facilities that we worked with as a readiness NCO would be relevant to being a veteran advisor. We deal with records, we deal with IPERMs, the confidentiality, all that kind of stuff. We were very well versed in it as a readiness NCO, so it was a very easy transition for me to come into that position.
Mm-hmm. So have you used the services then since you are a veteran?
I have. Yes, I have. So a lot of the services we offer here, like the health and wellness, the behavioral health, a lot of those things are resources that people are aware of, but they don't think of right away. So I've been able to use like the employment services with dealing with veterans and getting them in jobs and getting them in contact with other resources to get more gainful employment. A lot of people, working mainly a minimum wage job, want to do better for themselves, and they're like, I don't know where to go. We direct them to the employment services and gives them a career instead of just a job. So that's been a great help. Health and wellness, people are struggling with the ACFT after it came on board, and we talk to soldiers during drill weekends, and we tell them what resources we have available to us. And some of them don't know that there's a counselor in their area that can help them with PT and things like that. And it's a free of charge. There's no charge for it. So that's been huge. We also have the program for the financial counseling. Soldiers get behind on bills, or they're trying to do better with their finances, get their stuff in order. And we offer them the opportunity to sit down with a financial counselor from the National Guard and kind of figure out where they're at, what they need to work on, and give them a good plan to better themselves in their life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I know we've kind of done bits and pieces over the last several years since we did the podcast, but all these different services that he's talking about is a part of our service member family care, and it's basically just this, I guess you could say, like a joint force headquarters of services, and no matter who you go see, somebody will point you in the right direction, because even though you are a veteran advisor, if somebody mentions like they aren't making enough money, or they're looking to buy a house, or they need somebody to talk to, like a counselor or something, like you are a part of that network, and so you can point them in the right direction. So you don't necessarily need to reach out to those specific people, the people in those sections and stuff, because somebody will get you where you need to go in some way, shape, or form.
Exactly. Good point. So like a lot of times when I get a client who's called me or reached out to us for some assistance, like say they just need a copy of their records, I'll call them back up and say, hey, okay, my name's Greg Miller. I'm a veteran advisor with the National Guard, and I'm assigned to your region. What exactly are you trying to get the records for? They say, oh, well, I'm trying to file a VA claim because I got hurt when I was in basic, and I never really followed up with it, but now I'm having problems with this. And I'll say, okay, well, let me see if I can find your records online, go online, see if I can find the records in IPERMs. If I can't, then I reach out to the warehouse that we have record archives here in Columbia. They recently relocated all the records, the physical records, to another vendor, but they can get the digital copies back from that vendor. So it's not all housed here in Columbia anymore. Mm-hmm. But they can reach out get those old records from 60s, 50s, wherever it was from, and get those records back to us. But we can help get those records to the soldier or the veteran. And then we can also say, well, okay, so you needed these records for the claim, but what else, is there something else that you're looking for? Well, I was trying to get the claim so I could start working on buying a house, and want to know, well, I can get you in touch with the VA home loan people and see if you qualify for there. It's just different things. We try to access whatever questions they have with what resources we have available to us. So we don't just, pigeonhole them into just getting a copy of the records and then thank you for your service and have a way. We look deeper into the question that they're asking us and see what we can do to help them.
So do you guys specifically only work with the National Guard, or do you get phone calls from like people who are active duty or different branches? Like, how does that play a role?
So we do help all branches, not just National Guard members. We help Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Merchant Marines, whatever the branch is they need issues with, we can help them and their family members. We're not just pigeonholed just to the service members themselves. We can help family members. We can help the veterans, and it doesn't have to be somebody who was retired after the Guard. They can just do their 4 years or 6 years and then be done. And then if they reach out to us later on, we can still help them out no matter what.
Are there any common questions that you get asked whenever people are trying to reach out to you guys?
The biggest one we have is getting copies of records and what do we qualify for, and can we do the claim with them? We can't do claims. We're not authorized to do that, but we can direct them to the right resources in their county where they live to get in touch with a VSO, which is a Veteran Services Office. Each county has a designated person who does that job strictly. Some of the bigger counties like Richland, Lexington, Charleston counties, they have multiple people that work in their office. That can help them get the claim submitted, get all the forms together, and get everything submitted so they can get a quality claim submitted and get their percentage correct. Smaller counties like Allendale or Calhoun County, they have one person that works in the office, so you may have a little bit longer wait if you're depending on that person. But that's our biggest thing is how soon can we get the claim done, or where can we go to get the claim done? That's the biggest one because a lot of people don't know where to start the process. They just start online, they look it up online, and then they're just kind of lost. They're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. How do I figure this out? And we just kind of direct them in the right way. Yeah,
that's awesome that they have that because it can be intimidating. I mean,
absolutely,
getting out, retiring, or like you said, just doing your 4 or 6 years and not knowing where to go, not knowing who to talk to. Like, you can reach out to people from your old unit and stuff, but they possibly might not be there, or they don't have the resources to get you what you need, or a family member. I mean, we've had multiple people contact us trying to get family members' records who have passed. And so it's nice that there's that buffer where they can come in and sit down and talk with you guys and figure out, okay, this is my end goal. This is what I think I need, but then in reality, you might need all these other things. So
exactly, it's multifaceted, and it's great to help people get things they didn't know they qualified for, or didn't know that a resource was there available to them. A lot of times, we'll have another question we have is legal things. We can point them in the direction of legal services to get them things like wills, powers of attorney, stuff like that. But if it's a criminal or a civil case, there's no way we can help in anything like that. The military's JAG just does not carry that kind of weight in the state to help with those kind of cases. So that's one thing we have to kind of be careful with. But other than that, I mean, the employment stuff is huge. That's, trying to get out and get resources to family members that are maybe unemployed or like have a husband or a wife deployed, and then the spouse wants to, do something to help out as far as, bringing additional income into the family. Our employment services people have great jobs available to them. We just need more people to come in and resource them with them because they've got jobs that are waiting for people to hire, but they can't find the people to do it. So if we can get them in touch with those, that'd be great.
Okay. So you were talking about benefits and stuff before. Are there specific benefits that a lot of people commonly don't realize that they're qualified for that you see across the board? Or is it like specific case by case?
That's pretty case by case. I mean, most people know for the most part what they qualify for, but sometimes you might not have somebody that knows they, for instance, the VA home loan program. There's certain criteria you have to be able to meet to qualify for that. And some people are just not sure what they qualify for, or if not. Also, the education benefits are huge. Some people are just completely, and it can be confusing because there's a lot of programs depending on when you served, how long you served, if you deployed overseas, when you can transfer benefits to a dependent, all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of questions our education services has to ask that person specifically to see what works with their specific case. So it's a lot of it's on case-by-case basis, yes.
Okay. Besides like claims and the housing and the financial, like all these other things, are there other benefits that maybe we don't know about that they could possibly, or is it those kind of like the basic benefits?
Those are pretty much the basic ones. And there's a lot of resources that we look at online. When you look at the SMFC pages, there's a lot of things that show up what, like links to other benefits and stuff like that are very helpful as well. Our webpage is huge, and that's the biggest thing we could take away from that is, go to the webpage for the SMFC and just, start deep diving yourself if you're interested in a specific thing and see what we can do to help you with that.
So before we close out, I kind of want to go over the region because you said that there's multiple locations. Can you kind of give the listeners an idea of where those regions are so that if they're in that specific area, they can figure out where to or how to contact those people?
Right. So again, on the web page, it does show the different regions and different counties that are serviced by the different regions. So myself, I'm in Region 5, which is Richland, Calhoun, Clarendon, Sumter, Orangeburg, Allendale, Barnwell counties. And that's pretty much my scope. Now, I can help somebody in other counties if need be, but we typically as a group try not to step on each other's lines because there's maybe specific things, especially when it comes to employment. You don't want somebody from Charleston getting assistance from somebody in Rock Hill. Mm-hmm. It just wouldn't make sense. But the main centers are obviously Columbia. Orangeburg is where my headquarters region is out of. Charleston, Rock Hill, Florence, Spartanburg, and Greenville, I think, are the other ones. And then Lexington, of course.
Okay. So basically, if somebody is looking for these resources, they should just go to the website. They're listed under the South Carolina National Guard website, or
correct?
Okay, yeah. So if anybody who's listening, if you go to scguard.ng.mil, there should be a section for service member family care.
Correct.
Okay, and then there should be. We're looking at a map right here for those who are watching, but you can go on there and it'll tell you specifically the phone number, and it also lists like the different services that location has. So if anybody is trying to get in contact with somebody in their specific region, check out the website. I mean, our website has pretty much all the information you need on it. And if you still can't find the information, just call one of the numbers on the resources page and we can hopefully get you in the right direction. But
that's correct.
All right. Is there anything that you want to add or?
No, I'd just like to thank you guys for having me come in and talk about the program. And I'm glad to share that information with everybody that's out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. I love seeing familiar faces, so hopefully we'll see you around. But yeah, if anybody who is listening or watching, definitely check out scguard.ng.mil. You can get on a government computer or a civilian computer. You do not have to have CAC access, so anybody can access that website, and it has a lot of useful information. So you can reach out to these different sections to see what benefits that they can help you with. But if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.